Chris is joining us from Can't Swim today, and we appreciate you stopping by, dude. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for taking the time. I'm just sitting here enjoying a seltzer water.
Oh, dude, thank you for you taking the time to come chill with us and talk and see what's going on. You said you're in Florida right now, off the record. Is that you guys are recording still? Is that where you're?
I actually moved down here.
No way.
Yeah, a few months ago. Yeah.
No shit. Is that convenient for the band and stuff? Because I know no. I was like, dude, like they're all from New Jersey. You guys are from New Jersey. Like what?
Yeah. Throughout the years, it's been slowly changing.
Okay.
Our drummer actually now lives in Atlanta. Our guitar player actually predominantly spends most of his time in England because his lady lives in England. So we're all over the place. Yeah.
No, as long as you make it work, dude. I think Conquer Divide's like the perfect example. All those chicks are from completely different parts of the world, and they make their band, work well. So,
yeah. Headquarters, we call it. Headquarters is still in New Jersey. We practice there. We ship the merch from there, but a lot of us have departed, sadly. New Jersey will always be home, but we've been exploring other avenues.
Dirty Jersey.
It's also very New Jersey to move to Florida.
Same with Pennsylvania. Yeah, it is very.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But you dropped 2 singles from Pure Noise recently, To Heal It All. You Have to Feel It All, Deliver Us More Evil. Is this like a little bit of a teaser to what's to come with more music, with like an album or an EP possibly?
Yeah, it's 2 songs off of our new album called Change of Plans, which is October 22nd, comes out October 22nd, and those are the 2 singles off of it, and I do believe we're going to release one more single off of it before the album comes out, and yeah, we've been sitting on it for quite some time. We recorded it with Will Putney, can't even remember, last August or something. Which is also New Jersey.
Right, yeah, he does a lot of hardcore, deathcore bands, mostly. Like his roster has a lot of those kind of bands.
Yeah, he plays in Fit for an Autopsy and yeah, really nice guy. So yeah, we've been looking forward to putting it out for a while now. So it's exciting that it's coming up.
So you guys seemed super busy during 2020. You guys released some reimagined songs, and then you also released Someone Who Isn't Me. And then also recording a full length. So did you just kind of took COVID to be like, we're just going to do everything and everything we wanted?
I think, 2 reasons. Yeah, we were looking for ways to stay relevant, of course, like everybody was. And mostly just for my own sanity. Usually I'm writing or recording or at least playing a show. And now I had all this free time. So yeah, the reimagined songs were certainly just a COVID project. I don't think any of us really even had that idea before we were stuck in our houses. And then Someone Who Isn't Me was a little bit of both. It was started recording it in March, right before the world fell apart. And then I flew home from LA and I finished it remotely. So it was like a half and half. Somewhat of a COVID project, if you will. And then, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to get in the studio with Will Putney to do the full length. And obviously a lot of our time was freed up because we couldn't tour. And then it worked. Will Putney was able to get us in and we made a record. So
very cool. So
busy time.
But for Someone Who Isn't Me, it obviously is a bit different than the rest of your stuff. Obviously still, remotely in the same vein, but definitely more electronic influence. What made you decide to go that route and make that kind of EP?
Sure. Even the title is a play on words, Someone Who Isn't Me, kind of going down another avenue. And actually a lot of people don't know this, but it's an acronym. Someone Who Isn't Me. I can't swim. Something to go on. Yeah, it was just kind of what you were saying, very electronic, something that I've always wanted to do. The producer, his name is Chris Mealy. He's been a friend of mine since high school, and he's in LA, and doing a lot of hip hop stuff and EDM stuff, and I always thought he was a very talented kid, and always wanted to make music with him. And I didn't necessarily know if it would work for Can't Swim. So when we recorded it, it was kind of just like a one-off for fun, and I didn't even know if Pure Noise would like it or the rest of the guys would like it. And then once it was finished, everybody on the team seemed to really enjoy it, so we put it out under Can't Swim. And we've we don't really take that stuff very seriously. Like whatever we come up with and whatever we want to do is kind of what starts to happen. So I think that EP is a pretty good example of like just trying different things. And I'm glad we got to do it.
How did people react to it when it came out?
Yeah, there was definitely some apprehension. We were pretty nervous that like people were gonna throw digital tomatoes at us. It was pretty well received. People understood that it was like slightly COVID, or I don't know if people. I don't think people thought we were gonna really go in that direction, or even play songs live. It was just kind of like more of a streaming, YouTube video kind of project. And I think the kids who are into our band kind of knew that going in, and not much. Yeah, to be fair, way less negative comments than I thought there would have been. So,
to be honest, I think it's pretty refreshing to say as a band signed to a record label, because I've heard horror stories. Guests who have been on the podcast and just other musicians in general, that your team is really stoked on releasing these songs, because sometimes labels can put their foot down and be like, no, we don't think that's going to fit the aesthetic or this and that, and they can kind of dictate how to go about with some of the songs. So has it been pretty easy to work with Pure Noise and be like, hey, this is the song that we want to release, and be like, they're like, oh yeah, this is great, like let's work with this, like that's cool, dude. That's pretty cool. It's gotta be refreshing.
Yeah, to be fair, even more so than that, like I initially presented them Foreign Language, which was an EP we did 2018, and I actually thought it was going to be a side project. I thought it was so different that Pure Noise would be like, oh, like let's do this under a different alias and a different name. And Pure Noise like kind of like put me in my place and was like, no, dude, like I think it would be cool if you did it as Can't Swim, just like keep switching it up, keep flipping it on everybody. And I said, oh yeah, I mean that's ideal for me. That's like what I would love to do. I just didn't know if y'all would be down. And no, they've been nothing but supportive. And yeah, I think they're just fans of what we do, and they kind of just let us do what we want. So I mean,
that's awesome.
It's been pretty amazing.
I also think Can't Swim is in like an interesting position where like your voice has that grit to it, like that hardcore grit. So when Foreign Language came out, it was like, okay, well, it's heavier, but like it still makes sense.
Sure.
And so I feel like not a lot of bands can do that, and it just work. And then like I was able to listen to the new album, and it's heavier. It's heavier than the previous stuff. So like you kind of like played on Foreign Language and was like, it worked, let's do it.
Totally. I think it's something that we've always kind of gravitated towards. Like growing up in hardcore punk bands. But who knows? Like as you were mentioning, the previous EPs were very different, like EDM, and then we did an acoustic EP almost. Like I can't even tell you what the next Can't Swim album is going to sound like. So I think that in and of itself is like an exciting thing. I think it keeps everybody in the band, excited to be in the band, because it's not like we go into the studio and be like, okay, like how can we do Stranger or Your Clothes Again? We always try to write something pretty new and as creative as we can come up with. So I think that we've set this blueprint now. It's kind of easier to, put some curveballs towards the kids. I think they kind of almost expect it from Can't Swim now. So
I was very curious, like going in. Well, from the 2 singles that are out already, I kind of could feel where it was going. Sure. But beforehand, I was like, oh, like are they gonna go like the Someone Who Isn't Me route and do this like wild electronica, like super pop punk? And then you didn't, and I was like, okay, cool. Like this is also so awesome.
Yeah, I think subconsciously that's kind of been the goal, is just to kind of keep people guessing and excited for what the hell is going to come. So yeah, that I'm glad that you thought that.
Yeah, seriously, because your discography is very diverse, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hell yeah.
And a couple of my friends also thought that. Like that was it, like 3 or 4 of them were like, oh, are they gonna do like, you know, Someone Who Isn't Me but full length? And
Sure.
I was like, I don't think so. I don't think that's happening.
There you go.
So you surprised everyone.
I love it.
Well, I guess you're going to surprise everyone.
Yeah, you've luckily been surprised.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with the new album, one of the songs has Caleb. I can't pronounce his name. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Shomo? I think
Is it Shomo?
I thought it was Shomo.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But how was that? The song is incredible. You two together, great match.
Thank you very much. So Mr. Caleb and I became friends on the A Day to Remember tour, which was kind of right before COVID, a couple months before COVID happened. I wasn't very familiar with him or his band before the tour, so it was awesome to get to know him, and all the guys in Bear are friends of mine now. And we recorded that song with Will and kind of left that middle part instrumental. I didn't have vocals on it, and I think at the very end of the process, Will was like, oh, we should like get somebody else, it'd be really cool. And me and Caleb were just chatting about stupid stuff, not music. Most of the time we chat, it's not about music.
Right.
But I was telling him, oh, you'd be, you would geek out on all of Will Putney's amps, and he's like such a freak like you are, because Caleb records everything himself as well. So we were just chatting about that, and I was like, oh, would you, I want to send you this song that we've been working on. And I sent him Set the Room Ablaze, and he was like, dude, I need to sing on this. And I was like,
Awesome.
I wasn't going to ask, because I don't want to bother you, but like, that would be great. And then he was very punctual. Like a couple of days later, like I said, he has his own studio, so he was able to record it and send it to Will, and we got it done what seemed to be in a few minutes. It was like the easiest process. And yeah, I think it like fits so well with the theme of the song, and he's got this arrogant, swag to him that I think is so perfect for that little section in the song. And I'm very excited for people to hear it. Also very, very excited for people to see the music video we shot for it, which is
cool.
Just as insane and funny as the song is. So.
And that's kind of like more complicated to get him in the video in itself. You know what I mean? That's usually never easy when you're trying to make that kind of production.
Totally. Yeah, he's a busy boy. Actually, I luckily got to see them a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, in St. Petersburg, Florida, on their headlining tour. So that was cool.
They're killing it on that tour. Nick from Calling All Captains, he is on. He's one of their crew members.
Oh, nice.
And he says the tour has been going really, really well.
Yeah.
Dude, I experienced the Beartooth show when we were on Warped Tour in 2017. They fuck, dude. Like, people freak out for him too. Very, very aggressive. Different from the Crabcore era for sure, but
yes, very.
Yeah,
very
they do have that edge to them and stuff. Like, but that's gonna be something people are gonna be anxiously waiting for, is for that song to drop.
Yeah. It's like I said, I'm very excited for people to hear it. It's pretty insane. Yeah.
So if you have a video for it, that means it's most likely going to be the 3rd single?
That is the truth. Actually, I was just talking to the label earlier today before you guys called me, and we weren't sure if we were going to release it like on the day of the album coming out, October 22nd, but I do believe we are going to release it a little bit before, just to give even more of a taste of the album. So that's the plan.
Dude, I'm looking at Will Putney's fucking discography. I didn't know he was a part of You're Welcome for A Day to Remember. I didn't know he was a part of Brain Pain for 4 Years Strong. This is like crazy.
He did all of Brain Pain in the studio that we recorded at. And then for A Day to Remember, he was actually working on that when we were there. I think it's just a few songs, like 2 or 3 songs. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just remember like him being the hardcore guy and the metalcore guy, like Straight from the Path, Hours Murder, Knocked Loose, Silent Planet. Like Silent Planet is a fucking goddamn. I mean, then you got bands like Pig Destroyer. So it's like that's fascinating that he was really starting to get himself into other perspectives of other, you know, bands that aren't metal, hardcore and stuff, because his production quality is fucking phenomenal. Yeah, so it's a no-brainer to go to the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a wizard. He's also like, I'm kind of like a recording nerd on my computer, and I thought I was like pretty quick and editing around. Dude, he's on another level.
He probably knows all the shortcuts. Just like
it's crazy. Me and Danny, my guitar player, Danny's really, really fluent with Logic, and yeah, I was just like watching his fingers. I was like, what? Like, how is he done?
His wife might be happy.
Other than like being an amazing musician and a producer or whatever, but like I was very impressed by his shortcuts, as you said.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like the shortcuts, the keys. The dude. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. It's crazy.
He flies. He definitely flies.
So you're going on tour with Silverstein and plotting you.
You got it.
So are you guys ready to get back on the road? Like, are you guys a little nervous about what's to come and because of everything?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, yes. The answer to that question is yes. We've been out of the loop now. We actually sold our van. We have a new drummer. We have a new guitar rig set up. Like a lot of new things. Plus, we haven't done this in almost 2 years. And then, yep, the state of the world obviously makes it a little bit nerve-wracking. Hopefully, Mrs. COVID will calm herself down by November. But obviously, you know, it's something that you have to take into consideration. And, yeah. To answer your question, yes, I am slightly nervous, but it's more excitement and very, very eager to get back out there and start, you know, get back to work and, you know, be around my best buds. And yeah. I mean, it's what everybody's going through, and it's our time in November. So fingers crossed, but we're all very, very excited. So.
Is the tour taking any like precautions of like the bubble? I keep hearing about the band bubbles. Yeah,
I don't know specifically, but I was asked to show all of our vaccine cards, like even our crew, like my wife and my brother are coming, and like they were obviously vaccinated. They didn't get vaccinated for the tour or anything, but they had to show. So I guess like the tour manager of Silverstein is like compiling all this stuff. And yeah, my friends that have been touring so far, it seems like no green room. So like a buddy in Philly can't come in the green room, even if you put him on the guest list. I don't know if that's what Silverstein's going to be, but I assume that's probably so.
Yeah, it all varies. It's different for every tour, for sure.
Yeah. It's just so interesting seeing how like live music is going forward and how it's going forward, and you know, unless you're in it, like you don't see it all. And so I like talking about it because I want like the fan to have an understanding of like what you guys are going through and what your crew is going through, and like I just wish there was a little bit more sympathy out there for the music industry.
Right. Yeah, a fan of music is just like, hey, why isn't this as accessible as it was? Not knowing that, you know, 30 people have to get vaccinated, 30 people have to get a test before they fly. Like, I see what you mean. It's a tricky thing, and it's a hard work ethic that needs to be in place for any tour. And now it's even like stepped up of like, you know, public safety is even more of a priority. Yeah, it's we all have our work cut out for us, for sure.
Yeah. For a big festival, because I work large festivals, we have a whole account now for PPE. It's a whole thing that we've created.
That's crazy.
COVID precautions. So
that's like, great. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, when you're working like, Bonnaroo, I guess didn't happen, but like, you know, you have to like.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So over, 6 figures worth of people in an area, like, yeah, one person gets COVID and there goes the music industry.
You know, yeah. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we're all trying our best here, and like in the beginning, like I don't think people understand that it's not easy to collect an income when you're not on the road, and for most bands, not all, but most, and dude, like, and how many live streams can you really do per month? You know what I mean? Like, is that really gonna put money in your pocket? Not, the one time, yeah, but we're doing our best out here, dude.
Yeah. I think we're at the end of the tunnel, and there does seem to be light at the end of that tunnel, but
I hope so.
It's been a long road. You know what I mean, it's almost coming up on 2 years for us, like crazy.
Oh, it's nuts. This is more of like me being a fan question.
Sure.
So this too won't pass, that album. It's one of my favorite albums, and it has been, I guess, since it came out. And so I'm sure you know The Queen and, Meet the Right People at the Wrong Time are 2 of your most popular songs. They're also 2 of my most favorite songs. What are they about? Like, what are, obviously fans have their own interpretations, and, with like The Queen, if ignorance is bliss, like it still haunts me. Like that line just resonates so hard with me. And I just would love to know, like, headspace that you were in when writing it. Same with, Meet the Right People at the Wrong Time.
Sure. I guess in theory, both of those 2 songs are about a similar thing, and can be summed up with the title of the second song. Sometimes you meet the right people at the wrong times. Like, just because you are in a relationship with someone doesn't mean you're in the right part of your life to accept that person, or vice versa. And I think it's just something that's very relatable to anybody that's grown up for, I was maybe 29 or 28 when I was writing that album. So obviously I've had, a plethora of different relationships in my life, and, it doesn't even have to be romantic. Sometimes, the right person, but you're just not in the right headspace to, be a good friend or whatever it is. So I think those 2 songs kind of talk about that. And I think the line that you're specifically asking about is more of like dealing with your sadness by like almost hoping that the other person is sad. Like, I hope to God you're haunted by this too. Like, I think there's like, it's even more lonely if you're like laying in your bed, like, oh, I miss this person, and I know that they don't care. I know they're not thinking of me wherever they are. So I think it was just a summary of like wishing that, I'm like, oh man, I hope that person is also like haunted by this and is thinking about the past that we had. So I think those very emotional breakup-y songs, but both of them were written in a very similar time period. So yeah, that's
extremely dark.
Yeah,
lyrically,
hard stuff, my guy.
I love that shit.
Interestingly enough, recently, I spoke to an ex, and I like during that time, like I went through that whole mindset of like, as long as they're thinking what I'm thinking, like it's all okay.
Right.
And I found out that was true, and it had this like wave of just like relief over me of like, oh, I'm not nuts.
Yeah. Like, or did I think about what we had in the past differently, and it wasn't a big deal? Like, and if he doesn't, in your case, maybe it wasn't, and I'm just a weirdo, and I was madly in love with this dude, and he never cared.
Yes.
So there's a solace, and there's yes, it still hurts, but it's like taking a Pepto-Bismol. It like hurts a little bit less.
Mm-hmm. It's cool that you wrote this when you were like 28, 29, because that was, I guess I was around, 27, 26 when the album had come out. And it's so interesting to see the albums that resonate you in your mid to late 20s than the albums that resonated with you when you were younger, and how just like more in depth they are, and how much more like complex the content of the song is.
certainly.
Yeah.
I always joke about like, I started Can't Swim pretty late in my life. I was like 25 when we first started. And sometimes I kick myself like, oh, I should have started this in my early 20s. But then I also laugh to think like, what the hell would I even have written about? Like skateboarding and like Taco Bell? You know what I mean? Like,
It worked for Blink-182, but that was also 30 years ago.
True. I don't know if easier is the right word, but I've had so many experiences in my life, so many relationships, so many things that have happened, and when you're getting on a guitar, or a piano, or however you're writing a song, I think it would be a big struggle for me if I was just kind of living on Easy Street and I was this hot, fresh, young 18-year-old. I don't even know what songs I would have been written, but. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that we were going through the same thing because I guess we're a similar age. So there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, it's also I also never write when I listen to a song, so I'm glad that the context actually matched with what I was thinking the song was about.
There you go. Look at that.
But yeah, just I mean, when I first listened to you guys, like just every album resonated in like a certain way, and not many people have broken the top 5 of my favorite bands, and Can't Swim did it. I don't know who you knocked out, but
okay, yeah, they can name unnamed.
Yes, because I think they're a pretty popular band actually. But and even like honestly, Someone Who Isn't Me actually is one of my top 5 favorite EPs.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
That came out, and I was like, holy shit.
Well, it was definitely blowing people away, for sure.
Yeah. It was quite different.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was just like, and I never had gotten to interview prior to me coming back into things. I guess you may have like just started when I was like, I'm done. I'm sick of this shit. And then like, years later, I'm like, just kidding. I'm back. I miss it. I miss talking to people, and I love hearing about the music, like, and what you guys are going through, and like, just the process of everything. I read Amy's a summary of Change of Plans, and it's one of the sentences was like, it's not about playing the victim, but rather learning to appreciate what little control. So just like that line before listening to the album, the new album, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
So
that's quite the setup. I like that.
It's a good setup. I mean, PR people know what they're doing.
That's true.
But like to that line, like, is that really like the new album? Like, it is about like, not about playing the victim, but rather like the lack of control.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of my songs and a lot of my experiences, it's kind of why I write music, like you can't go back in time and change certain events. But if you write about it, you put it into a positive, it makes you feel a little bit better about it, and hopefully can make other people feel better about a similar situation. And yeah, I don't think I ever play the victim. I own up to the mistakes I've made. I've owned up to my shortcomings, and this album certainly speaks about some of those things. And going forward, I know I'll make more mistakes. That's just what we are as humans. And I'd like to think at 30, what am I? 32. I'm a self-aware man, and I'm not trying to be something I'm not. And I think that's always been the motto of Can't Swim. We're not anything that we don't claim to be. We're not putting on makeup, and we're not charging kids for fucking cell phone pictures of us. Like, we do this band because we love doing the band, and we write music because we love writing music. And I'm very happy that Amy was picked up on what the album is about, because it's very important to us. The reason why we do the band is for us, and that's kind of has always been the goal. So
right.
Yeah, she's great, dude. I'm sure like when you do tour and when you're like screaming in these people's faces like your lyrics, I'm sure that's like that's gotta be a relief for the relatability.
Oh yeah, certainly, man. Like, I don't claim to have come from a dark past, but obviously, we've all gone through stuff, and I would suggest this type of outlet to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's way better than yoga or some sort of therapy.
Yeah,
it's very lucky, and just to see all the positives it's brought my life. Like, I met my wife. I have a place now in Orlando. When there's a couple of years there, those mid-20s, where I was like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? Everything's falling apart, and you can look back at those times and be like, wow, like, this band has really not only improved my musicianship and my musical career, but it's, really made me a better person and made me in a way happier place. So like I said, any kid who's 17 right now who's like, what the fuck do? I would say do music in any type of outlet. It doesn't have to be a guitar. You could do little DJ scratch or whatever kids are doing nowadays, but outlet for expressing yourself and being creative, I would highly suggest to anyone. It helped me a fuck ton. So
it's definitely a good outlet for people just in general. Like, music therapy is like a real fucking career too, and like people don't understand. There's a Netflix documentary, I forget what it was called, but like they would like show, they would give, I think they went to a retirement home center, and like they just gave these people like songs that they asked, like, I guess their kids or their family relatives, like, what was their favorite songs like back in the day and stuff, and like it brought them back to that place and time, and like it was touching because like they're getting super emotional off of just listening to one song.
Well, yeah, when you look at a guitar, or even like if you're singing something, like how could something so simple, there's only like 12 notes on a guitar, and how so many lives have been changed and how many emotions have been conveyed by just some silly old guitar strings is pretty fascinating, pretty amazing.
And even just the experience of a live show being there.
Oh yeah.
Like it just, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You're having a bad week, looking forward to Friday, seeing your favorite band, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not that bad. Everything's fine.
No, it's definitely a relief. Like, that's why I know friends and people that I care about. They thrive at shows. They want to be in that community. They want to be listening to music. They want to sing the lyrics back, and it's just that gets you away from the real world, because like we talked earlier, bro. I work a 9 to 5. Well, it's a 5 to 5, but we all do it though. You know what I mean? Like it's something to get us out of our normal routine to express what we want to get out of our system.
I agree, man. I feel very lucky to be able to do it full time. So it's awesome.
Yeah. To make a basic white girl joke. So when you had said you don't want to be the victim a little earlier. When is your birthday?
My birthday is March 21st, 1989.
So you're an Aries?
I never really followed this stuff, but I think I'm in the middle of two of them.
You're definitely, because it's Pisces. It's whatever's after Pisces, but you're the end of March.
Yeah, March 21st.
So hold on. Oh, because I have a theory. Because if you're a Pisces, I don't believe that you can't play the victim, because I'm a Pisces and I'm good at that.
When's your birthday?
February 29th. Oh. I'm a leap year baby, so I'm actually only 7 years old.
Oh yeah. I had a buddy growing up that had that birthday. That is amazing. 7 years. You look good for 7. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know that you're an Aries, and you're a rare Aries.
A rare Aries. That's
never heard that before.
Rare Aries.
Aries. I like that.
But apparently Aries are like the worst kind of people. So good to know that you're not.
I guess it depends on like who is viewing that.
Apparently.
I don't know.
Some people probably would think that.
Yeah. I know I'm a Sagittarius. That's all I know. It's a guy that's like half horse, half man. So fucking, I don't know what that means, but
That's a good one to be.
It's kind of badass, dude. He's got a bow and arrow and shit. I don't know.
There we
Oh,
go.
they're called
I'm a fish.
centaurs.
Centaurs.
Like did you ever see that movie? Fucking
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Was it in Step Brothers when Will Ferrell was a centaur?
Different movies going on here.
Those are way different movies. There is a centaur in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, though.
Half man, half horse.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I get a headache when I follow that kind of stuff. Shana, how do you do it?
I don't know. I have a crazy memory, so I just the things I know, the things I remember. I literally before we were talking, when you said when the tour started, I knew it was November 4th before you said it. Like I'm psychotic.
You just got it, Matt. You gotta see Rain Man, the movie. He's got a really good memory. I think I can't remember.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But I am in finance, so like numbers.
Oh, there you go.
Good with numbers.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys didn't jump on the Pure Noise Records tour.
Yeah, I think it's because it interferes with Silverstein. I think I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It ends in October 22nd. You guys start in November.
Yep. So it comes out, and then 2 weeks later we start the tour. So.
Yeah, and the surrounding areas are there.
There's radius clauses, so I'm sure you couldn't do it anyway, even if the dates didn't line up.
Exactly.
Yeah. So look at all that.
You don't want
music
to play
industry knowledge.
Yeah, you don't want to play the same city back to back in a short period of time. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like that's why people said a day to remember when they did Self Help Fest. Oh, why aren't they on Warped Tour? Well, dude, they have their own festival. And what are they going to do? Come around, once.
Right.
And then 2 months or a month later, they're doing the same thing. Like.
Sure.
60 days, 60 miles.
Is that like the go-to?
That's usually what it is. Yeah, depending on. You can finagle and get things around. Actually, we had a radius clause almost screw us for the A Day to Remember tour, but there's always ways to get what you want. But yeah, happy to be doing Silverstein. Excited to get on the road.
Oh,
soon.
Dude, finally!
So soon.
So soon. I know it's been creeping up on me.
Yeah, November will be here in the blink of an eye.
Oh, dude, for real. And there's a good amount of shows that are being sold out too. So that's going to be a fucking experience. First tour back.
Yeah. I think the first show was sold out. House of Blues, Cleveland.
Yeah.
There's actually probably a lot of venues that the Swim hasn't played. So yeah, very excited to get back to it.
You've done it all. So personally, are you a fan of the more sold out shows, huge shows, or do you like those small cap room shows where the intimacy can be, brought to light there with the fans?
Obviously, there's pros and cons of both. A Day to Remember tour was certainly arenas every night, so playing in front of 8 to 10,000 people. But yeah, there is a bigger disconnect. Honestly, sometimes the way the lights would be going, it almost made me feel like I was singing into a room of no one. You can't even so far. The stage is so far from the first person in the crowd. It's you almost feel like you're just in your bedroom singing along. Where the intimate shows, kids are jumping on the stage and singing along with you. There's pros and cons of both. For Can't Swim headlining, obviously I live in reality, and if we played in an arena, that would be very bad. So I admit, you said, Voltage Lounge. I thought that show was amazing. But I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, walking out in a fucking hockey arena and yelling random shit like I do, it's definitely a cool feeling. My mom got to come to the Atlanta show on the A Day to Remember tour, and it was just this massive hockey arena, and I'm bringing her backstage, and she's just oh my God, this is amazing, so
that's so cute though.
There's pros and cons.
I love that for you. No, that's true.
It was awesome. So very, very blessed, and felt very lucky to be on a tour like that. But we also love getting down and dirty as well. So
So I put you guys on a TikTok, and it was really cool because of the tour and the plotting. You guys are releasing new music. You're gonna be on the tour. Idola is on a tour. Spirit Box is like the fucking face of metalcore right now, which is sick. And I was going through the comments, and someone said this, and like I just kind of wanted to like know like as what your thoughts are. And it's not really negative, but I kind of just want to see like if everything's all good. But this person, I don't want to say their name because they are putting a public profile out there. He said, ever since I heard Can't Swim's lead singer say if the place didn't get loud, he was going to kill himself, I have been unable to listen to them. Like, what? First of all, like, you can say whatever you want as long as like you're okay in that that moment. Like, as long as you're.
Say it one more time. What did I say? You
said. I mean, he's quote. Like, if this is a quote, if it's real or not, but whatever. But the guy said, ever since I heard the Can't Swim's lead singer say if the place didn't get loud, he was going to kill himself, I have been unable to listen to them.
I almost wish I said that because that's fucking hysterical. I can't fathom what he's referring to. Like, yeah, I can't think of it. Is it like a pun? Is it like if you flip it, it's a joke?
I don't know.
I'm not, I can't, I don't know. I guess it will live in mystery, but I have certainly never said if the place didn't get loud. Yeah, I'm not really like that kind of guy, like the whole go crazy. I just do I'm happy enough to be up on stage if y'all want to get me when I'm playing. If not, go get a hot dog.
I wonder if he's getting another band and Can't Swim mixed up.
I think so.
That does happen. Yesterday I was doing an interview and the person was like, oh, I haven't seen you guys in forever. Like, the show that you came up here and did with Defeater was amazing. You guys killed it that night. And I was like, we've never played a show with Defeater. What whim or can't you're confusing it with. So potentially maybe this man on TikTok is thinking of somebody else. I don't know.
I would believe so.
Yeah, I would kill myself in a public platform. That's a terrible thing to say.
Right. So I don't know. TikTok is a very strange world. There's a lot of negative with the positive to it.
Just like anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Shana said, it's the Gen Z MySpace, dude. And I'm just the elder emo trying to say, hey, listen to this band because they're fucking sick.
It's all coming back around. Everything is cylindrical. Everything's tight. Girl pants are gonna come back. Maybe the little emo, what is the thing? The fringe, the bangs are gonna come back.
I've seen it start.
Yeah, I'm sure everything. And then the 70s will come back. The 80s come back. That's just the way it goes.
I keep seeing TikToks that are like, I wish I was a teenager back in 2005, and I was like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No. I was made fun of in high school for being emo.
we were punished by the fucking popular kids. Like,
it was
fucking
interesting time for art and fashion for sure.
Yeah, the scene kids.
Snake bites. Everybody had snake bites. Yeah.
Dude, do you have anybody on your radar that you've been listening to that you think will come up and be a success?
Good question. I'm not too sure how to answer that.
Or someone that you want to.
Yeah, true.
I like that. Yeah, I'm a pretty bad music consumer. I don't do it very often, or especially with newer things. Give me 2 seconds here. What is it?
Yeah, you're fine. I think, I mean, I'll use this as an example. I think it was the pop punk scene was like really, really stoked that Action Adventure got signed to Pure Noise. That was like a huge awakening for the pop punk scene in Chicago. So
yeah, there is this band. They are small, or whatever that means nowadays. That I would hope they would get more popular. They're called the Callous Dow Boys?
The Callous?
The Callous Dow Boys. Actually, I have one of their T-shirts hanging up in my closet. They're from Atlanta, Georgia, and I really like them. I actually went out of my way to log in to my computer, as I am doing this as a 32-year-old man. I am very disconnected with the world, because I was like, I love this band. I love the name. I have to buy a T-shirt. I don't think I bought a band T-shirt in a decade, and I had to buy it because I just thought, wow, what a brilliant name. And also the music is pretty insane. It's pretty creative. It's like, I don't even know what you would call it. Every Time I Die.
Okay.
Plus funnier, crazier. I don't know. They don't seem to take themselves too seriously, but like the music is really good. I don't know. I am a Callous Cowboys fan. So if
First of all, it sounds like it's Dallas Cowboys.
Yes,
which makes it even funnier.
Yeah, the shirt I have is like the Super Bowl ring. It says the Callous.
Oh, so they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah, they're not on Spotify.
That makes
That's
it even
weird.
better.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If you're bored, or if you, I know, like you said, you're always looking for new music.
Yeah.
If you dig it, you should shout it out, because, like I said, 10 years not buying a band shirt. That's a pretty long time. And
I trust your opinion, dude. I mean, that's here they are. The Callous.
You got it.
Daoboys. Well, first of all, I'm wearing an Eagles hat. Go Birds! But fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Secondly, but yeah, we'll definitely check them out. I don't know if they're signed. I can't play them on the podcast if they are signed, which they are. So, but I'll definitely take a listen to them afterwards. Yeah, I think the renaissance of the music industry is going to happen very soon, when we really can come back to some normalcy, when touring is a regular thing. So it's great.
I'm so glad that I got to interview you. This has been wonderful. I didn't think that I was going to start interviewing ever again. So like, just kind of thought it was like a lost cause, that since you guys are one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, I'm happy to be the guinea pig to get you back in.
Yeah, you guys are my first interview back. So, like,
awesome. Thanks for inviting me on your podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming by and talking about the album, which comes out October 22nd. Really stoked to hear the rest of it, especially diverse. Also, is the album cover like, it kind of gives me like a Danny Darko vibe.
Yeah. This a buddy of ours that we grew up with, Brian Renson. He's an Asbury Park, New Jersey man.
Okay.
That was just his take. You know, we've been using the little Oni guy for a couple of years now, and that was just his take. Kind of made him a little more drawn. It's all pencil drawn.
Looks it, yeah.
And gave him a little body, and then the peacock feathers, and like that little freaky gold moon.
Very cool.
Yeah. We really didn't have many notes. We were just like, yo, man, we want to do something with the Oni, but go nuts. And he sent that. I think that was kind of like the first draft or the first idea he had. And I was like, you should do that. That looks amazing. Yeah, so pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks great, dude. But
also make sure to catch a tour date, everyone listening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Go see them with the Plot and You and Silverstein.
Let's
I will
sell
be
this tour.
at either Baltimore or Philly, depending on if Access wants to get me a refund or not.
Yeah, Philadelphia, December 7th.
So really nice talking to you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.